Gutierrez and Nazario get in a conflict, and the media is all over this black guy or black lieutenant getting something pepper sprayed by a white cop. Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions,
but we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike. Let's pull the pin.
Awesome, Mike. What are we pulling the pin on today?
Oh, it's another police officer involved incident. Not shooting this time, just incident.
Whew. Gosh.
Yeah. And this time,
without a shooting, right?
Yeah. This time the police officer was allegedly a vet, and the other person, subject for now, is a active duty lieutenant.
Right. Active duty lieutenant.
And that's all the information I have on them.
That's all you want to share? You don't want to sensationalize this, make it into something?
Well, yeah. Initially, it's of course, it's a white officer doing something totally wrong to a black person who just happens to be a lieutenant in the United States Army.
The white officer, what's his name? Gutierrez?
Yeah.
To the black guy's name, Nazario? Sounds a little Hispanic to me, but yeah. So I get it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot to talk about. So let's preface this. Let's say, because the video, we got a video. We're going to show you the video. What you're missing is the pretext to this traffic stop, and I don't have that video. I've heard through different sources that apparently the black Hispanic guy was hanging out the window with a 40, yelling racial slurs and a gat sticking out the other window. All right, okay, I made that part up. It was a bunch of hooded guys on horses trying to pull over a car. No, wait, that's not it either. It was actually just two cops in a car pulling over a guy with no plates, no visible license plates, because he had tinted windows and it was a temp tag.
Inside, not on the where the license plate goes, but in the back, inside of the back window that was tinted.
Right, and I don't know if you've ever seen that, but even in broad daylight, those are hard to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess the problem comes in right off the bat is they're doing this traffic stop, and apparently he wouldn't pull over. So what I heard, I don't know if the source is right or not, but I heard he put on his hazards to kept going at speed limit and pulled into a gas station. Right. So that's the pretext of this. So you'll see the two demeanors of this approach as we show you the video.
When you say two demeanors, we mean the lieutenant and the officer, or?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, because what I just explained to you were facts. Well, I can't validate their facts because I don't know how true those facts are.
So those weren't facts?
Well, yeah, I guess because I can't validate them. But if it turns out later they're facts, that's what we're dealing with. The facts of the two demeanors, like one view of it versus the other view of it.
Got it. The demeanor.
Right, the demeanor, the cop's interpretation of what's going on versus the black Hispanic lieutenant.
Right.
So, anyways, it took way too long to explain it. Let's roll the video.
All right.
Driver, roll the window down. Felony traffic stop. Put your hands out the window. Put your hands out the window. Turn the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window. I can't tell. Put your hands out the window and turn the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window. He's not complying, Judge.
Come around your side.
Let me see your hands. How many occupants are in the vehicle?
What's going on? I'm going to stop it there just for a second for clarification because I didn't create this video, but as you're watching it, if you guys are listening, the video on the left, in the left box, is his cell phone. The two other ones are the body cams of the officers, just so it's not clear for anybody watching it. Did you want to stop it and talk about it while we do it, or do you want me to?
Yeah, that's fine.
So you want to talk about what we've seen so far?
Yeah. What do you see
All right.
so far?
Well, obviously, we can talk about the initial reason for the stop. Clearly, it is a justified stop because no license plate, or no visible license plate is justifiable. But how do you feel about the alleged? I'm going to say alleged because I don't really even know if it's facts. But if he did put on his hazards to pull into the gas station,
I have no issue with that. I've had people do that to me. Yeah.
In fact, I encourage that as an officer. Yep. We did tell people to pull off to a safe place like that.
Yep.
So
and it's one of those things like when you hear officers say, like we've done it in the past, hey, I'm going to do this for your safety and mine. He's pulling over into a well-lit area for his safety and the officer's safety.
So right now, when I talked about demeanor, we've already seen the cops get out of the car and his voice and volume. He's treating this, he called it in as a felony traffic stop.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I think the officer, Gutierrez, I think is his name, Gutierrez, is completely off base. That's why I mentioned his demeanor. This is not a felony traffic stop. Because the guy puts on his hazards and pulls into a gas station, that's not a felony happening. Because I think it's evading police that they were calling the felony.
Oh, okay.
So they clearly didn't see the tag, so there was no felony on this traffic stop. They don't know who's driving. They have no clue, right?
So they just called it. You're saying they called it in as such because he didn't initially comply, as some people saying pull over. Got it. Okay.
That's what they're saying the felony is him evading police.
Well, yeah, but okay. I don't
so
think
right
that's
off the
a
bat,
felony, but okay.
Exactly. I think that pretense, this is totally way out of proportion already.
Well, maybe just me. I thought he called it as a felony traffic stop just to alert people. You know how you call some things in a certain way, then they don't bother you.
So you're saying because he planned on treating this as a felony traffic stop, he may not have had a felony?
Right. Yeah.
I think that would be
he was just
more
conducting
absurd.
it like I think he was just. This is all speculation. I think he was just calling it in as a felony traffic stop, just so no one calls them until they get a code 4, as we used to call it.
Right. Okay, so clearing the trap. Right. So, okay, I could buy that, but I think that's bad policing then, because why would you make a felony traffic stop?
I agree. I agree.
So, right after that, well, no, you bring up an interesting point, another way to look at it, but to me, that's more validation that this Gutierrez guy wouldn't know what he was doing.
Okay, which one is Gutierrez? The one who called it in wasn't the one who did the reason why we're watching this video.
Right.
It's the younger guy.
Right. Okay, the younger guy called it in?
Yeah, he called it in.
I don't know if you've seen this, but he looked like he wasn't the one in charge.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, just from watching the video, I either think this guy was in training or he was just a junior partner or what.
Well, to be honest, I thought he was in training as well until I saw he was riding in the car solo. So, no, you're not in training anymore. But yeah, we can get to it. Anything you want to say about the lieutenant?
At this point in time, what we've seen so far, the lieutenant's action to me, we're fine right now. Even if it was a traffic stop, put your hazards on, let them know you're not evading because it's really hard to evade with your hazards on. Pulling off to a safe, well-lit place to me is not a problem. In fact, I appreciate that. So I don't know why Gutierrez would be upset with that or assume that would be any reason for a felony traffic stop. But once again, we don't have any other facts, and there was no license plate, so they couldn't tell who it was because that's why they're pulling him over, right?
Right.
So as what we're going with right now, we already know that Gutierrez is or whomever initiated this, is definitely a little bit ahead of himself.
Yeah, it could be, but better to be ahead than behind.
Sure, well, give him the benefit of doubt. Okay, even let's say this was a vehicle that was matching the description of a felony. We don't even know that. And he pulled a felony traffic stop regardless. So let's go forward with that too. Yeah, let's go with that pretense that maybe it is justified felony. Well, hello, dogs. Let's say that is the case. All right. So now, lieutenant's actions as up to now. What have you seen so far?
I don't see anything wrong.
You don't see anything wrong?
No. Set up the cell phone and put his hands out the window. His what appears from the video to be his right hand is kind of. I don't think the officers could see it. That's why they kept yelling, "Put your hands out." I don't think they seen his right hand outside the window.
Right. Do you have a problem? I mean, maybe not a problem. Do you think how many times it took for them to get his hands out the windows, or the time he was taking? Do you think that was just reasonable? Like,
Uh, sure. Personally, me, I was like, why didn't he shut the vehicle off?
Right? He had his brake lights were still on.
Yeah,
Right. Until finally he put the in park and then complied. And
right.
he clearly, let's be real, he knew they were pulling him over. It's not like
Yeah,
what's going on? What
right,
is this? You're surprising me. It's a traffic stop.
right.
You know that. Now whether you believe it's a felony traffic stop or not, get it. But
Yeah,
he
he
knew
probably
he was
doesn't even
being
know what
pulled
that
over.
is. Yeah,
Right. He knew he was being pulled over. And
yeah.
we'll watch a little more and then we'll comment some more here. Let's
Yeah, but I'm getting real quick. He could have been calling someone to alert his command or whatever, and that's why he didn't immediately comply with their directive.
Sure, and I would buy that if he didn't have all that time with his hazards on while he moved to a safe spot.
Right.
Because that's the time they even recommend, sometimes they recommend that you actually do exactly what he did. And while you're doing that, you call 911
Yeah.
to let them know you're being pulled over to confirm that this is a legitimate policeman.
Yep.
I've heard of that. So
Yeah.
that would have been the time to call my commander, I think.
Yeah.
And here you see he's taking the time to set up his camera, turn it on, so he clearly knows his intention is to film this.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but when you're pulled over, are you thinking about that?
No, but I've seen people think about that.
Sure.
My daughter thought about it when we were in the car and we got pulled over.
Sure.
But
So maybe that's a new school thing. Maybe that's the younger generation where we just
Yeah.
react to the scenario. We don't think about videotaping everything.
right, right.
So, okay, we'll go with that. All right, you ready to move on with this?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right.
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going
Open the
on?
door slowly. Step out. Open the door.
I'm not getting out the vehicle. What's going on?
Get out the car. Open the door slowly and get out.
What's going on?
Get out of the car.
Just tell me if you
Now.
want to stop it. We'll stop it.
Open the door and get out of the car. Hold still. Hold. Keep your hands outside the window. Keep your hands outside the window.
My hands are right here. What's going
Get out
on?
of the car now. Get out of the car.
What's
now.
going
Get
on?
out of the car now.
So I want to stop it here because I want to talk about this lieutenant. And we could give our assessment later on, but this is a lieutenant, right? This is a lieutenant.
Yeah. I don't know why people keep saying that, but go ahead.
I know, but apparently that's important. Not just that he's black, he's a lieutenant. So you can clearly see that he's not getting out of the car, no matter what. He recognizes there's guns drawn. He recognizes whatever. He's not getting out of the car, right? And
Right.
he keeps asking, what's going on? So they're not answering his question, and he's not getting out of the car. So to me, I remember we spoke in an early episode about dying on certain hills. I don't know how you feel about his demeanor, the lieutenant's demeanor, but to me, I don't look at this as calm. I'm looking at this as more of an arrogant kind of, no, I'm not playing your game. And maybe I'm wrong completely, but I just don't feel like, I feel like he's almost goading them. You recognize there's guns drawn on you. You recognize that these guys are already in a hostile situation in their minds because they brought the level of force up high. Why would you play with that?
Oh, so you assume he's playing?
Well, I'm just saying, even if he's not playing, why
Right.
would you take that chance?
People are tired, man.
Tired of what? Having guns pointed at him?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you
Like
do with guns pointed at
the
you?
assumption of guilt, if you will. Listen, I get it. Like I told you plenty of times, I've been on both sides. I get it. I get
Like,
it.
I
But
get
in
why they
this-
could be upset. I just don't get why they would put their life on the line to be upset.
I think the problem is you're saying they putting their life on the line.
Yeah.
I think that right there is the core issue when we talk about these type incidents. People are putting their lives on the line because then that means what? Because he's not being aggressive, he's not physically resisting or violently resisting, those terms that people like to use. And yeah, we could say he's not compliant, but in the letter of the law, does he have to get outside of that vehicle just because they're ordering him to?
Well, that would be a good question because
Exactly.
there are laws that cover this stuff.
Right.
I mean,
No,
driver's
that's
license regulations that cover this stuff. Like to
right.
get a
But that,
driver's license.
my whole point is this. Now we're talking about is this something that is this a hill he's willing to die on? And I said that right there is the problem. When we think like that,
Well,
I
I
don't
think
think he's thinking about dying.
no, I don't either. I don't think he's thinking about dying either. But if you know, especially in the military, I mean, we know what the consequences of an accidental discharge are. We know because we've been to shooting ranges. We know that you don't mess with guns. You don't make mistakes or you don't put yourself down range. You know this. You don't take a chance of stepping in front of the firing line, even if your $20 bill blows out there. You know this because it's not like somebody wants to shoot you, but it increases the potential for you to get shot when there's a gun involved.
Yeah,
It increases.
in this instance, he's already downrange.
And
In
guns
this,
are
in
out.
this, right, downrange, yeah.
Yeah.
So in this instance, people will say he's already downrange, game on. So he's not doing anything, or, it's proven to be he's, let's say, innocent, right?
Sure.
So he didn't do anything, he didn't commit any crime, and it escalated to deadly force.
Okay, so that's why I said look at the perspectives. So Gutierrez thinks this is a felony traffic stop. You put your police officer hat on. He thinks it's a felony traffic stop. He's issuing commands. He's not getting compliance.
Right.
Okay? Gutierrez knows he's a citizen too. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't know that what the people are allowed and not allowed to do or what they should and shouldn't do. But he still has his gun out because he feels threatened.
Keep that in mind as we continue the video.
But Gutierrez feels threatened in this moment right here. He doesn't know who he's dealing with. He can't see his hands. It's a half effort. He doesn't know the guy's not responding.
And he can't see if anyone else is in the vehicle.
Correct.
Right.
So
Keep
right
that
now,
in mind as we continue.
Gutierrez's level of threat now is higher than what's the pastor's Nazario. Nazario's level is not because he's controlling the game right now.
Okay.
He's controlling the whole traffic stop because it's all about him. But once he recognizes weapons are out, now he's got to recognize that this situation is just elevated.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're right or wrong in this stop. An elevated situation creates a bigger hazard of you getting shot.
You should want to de-escalate it.
Right. That would exactly. That would be my thing is to de-escalate. Okay, it's not me. Even if I got pulled over by accident, I get my family out the car. Get out of the car, get on the ground, shut your face, and then take the embarrassment, and then you could still probably sue the police. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm alive. The guns are out.
Yeah,
Fingers are indexed right near the trigger. I'm not taking a chance.
We don't know the law within this municipality here, right?
Right.
So once again, we're just going off of our personal experience. So maybe he doesn't have to right now. He doesn't have to comply. That's the whole point that I think a lot of people miss. If it's I'm not going to get into where I was.
So then tell me, what is the officers to do? If no one has to comply, you make a traffic stop and they don't have to do anything, what do the officers do? What are you supposed to, what is even the purpose of having an officer if you can commit a crime or a traffic violation and they pull you over and you don't have to do anything? What are the officers supposed to, why are they there?
Okay, so let's keep watching. No, I mean it's gonna.
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated.
Yo, look this one. I'm a driver too. I don't know, babe.
That's
Get
it.
out of the car.
What's going
Get out
on?
of the car now.
What's going on?
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
I'm sorry, what?
Get out of the car now.
What's going
Get out of the
on?
car now. Get out of the car.
Sir, just get out the car. Work with us and we'll
Pause
talk
it.
to you. Get out the car.
Now I don't know what his rank is, the other officer, but right there, I said, "Wow." He's like, "Come on, man, just get out the car. This is about to get nasty." You know what I mean? And not like he wants it to. He's like,
Right.
"Damn, just
You
get out
talking
the car."
about the younger white guy?
Yeah, the younger guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the way I took it because he think I'm just guessing here. He thinks that this is too much for just to find out what's going on with the vehicle and possibly just let him go. Whatever
Right.
it was, just by his demeanor right there, I'm like, man, he's like doesn't want to be there right now.
Right.
And
And
what
talk.
got me was, did you
Okay.
see anybody really clear the vehicle?
What now, or are you talking about later on?
Yeah. No. Right now.
Right now, no. I mean, they're not even. Look, even if you look at it, they're already up on the right side. There could be
Right.
people in the back seat
Now,
still.
in the previous segment, we talked about, the threat. They don't know, and they don't know if anyone else is in the vehicle, so you should clear the vehicle. De-escalation.
Sure.
The reason why we're so heightened right now, we don't know if anyone else is in there. Yeah, his
Right.
hands are out. He's complying, but we don't know if anyone else is in the vehicle. So that should have been one of the first things done.
Sure.
Keep your gun drawn on him, but go clear the vehicle as much as
Right.
possible, just to make sure no one else is in there.
Right. Right.
And now
And
that
even,
would have de-escalated it, right?
well, even in the sense of what we used to do is like with tinted windows, we'd have them turn their dome light on or lower their windows.
Right. Yo,
But he's not complying with anything. So
Right.
what are those commands going to do?
Okay, so why keep giving commands if he's not complying?
Right. And that's what I
That's
was
what we
saying.
do.
Both of the arrogant. Well, we do it for protection.
Right.
Right. We do it. But to
Because
keep asking what's
we have
going
to follow
on.
those steps also.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
So let's go back to language then we're talking about, because I saw you wince and make a comment when he's like, this is how you treat people that serve.
Oh yeah, because a lot of people say about that with him being a lieutenant, and I was like, I was talking to my wife about it. So I don't give a damn about that when I was a cop, and she was
Right.
like, well, why not? There's a reason why you have Leavenworth, Mannheim Prison for
I-
soldiers. You know what I mean? It's like, come on now,
I
that
was
means
gonna tell you,
absolutely
Mike.
nothing.
I was going to tell you, hello, people. In the Army, we have military police
Yeah,
who
you
treat
know, it's
veterans just like this.
yeah.
Because we are veterans. Duh. But you
And
can see,
well, we were active duty treating active duty soldiers just like this.
yeah.
Because we had, the Leavenworth, the Mannheim once again. So that's why I was like, that don't mean nothing.
But see, to me, when we talked about language and demeanor, that's why when I set this up and I was talking about his, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Then he made that comment that made me feel the arrogance. Like he was protecting, hiding behind, oh, I'm a veteran or something. And remember you talked about the police embarrassing the badge?
Yeah.
Well, this is to me something you're
Yeah.
embarrassed in the military. To me, personally.
Right,
Because here
right.
you are contesting law enforcement, and then later on he says, oh, I support law enforcement. We probably won't see that part, but this is what I'm talking about. So then why are you contesting them? Let them do their job.
Right.
Crack jokes with them later. Say, dude, I don't know what you guys are doing. But for some reason he had to set up the phone. Well, I know what the reason is. It's $1 million lawsuit. But he had to set up his cell phone, and he had to test them. And I just don't think now's the time to test them, even if they're wrong. That's my whole thing about his demeanor, and using the military thing, like that gives you a free pass. Yeah, I don't know, man. That just
You don't
sounded
think he should
funky.
use his military privilege card?
No, he's dressed in military uniform. You think the guy don't know that?
Hey, some people put on fatigues. Come on now.
Well,
Look at your
sure.
hat. Look at your hat right now.
But he would assume, well, I'm a military guy. There's no rank on him. But anyways, he assumed that was going to do something. Like, that's how you treat me. But then on the flip side, let's talk about the officer. That was clearly, I've never told anybody about any riding any lightning. I don't know if you,
Nah.
yeah.
Nah.
To me, that shows you exactly what you were talking about, the culture of some police officers. That's where
what we were talking about. Don't backpedal now.
I believe it too. I was trying to give you credit for coming up with it, but
Oh,
all right, since you don't deserve the credit, that's what I was talking about,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you agreed with.
Yeah.
But that's what we were talking about, like the culture. That's the culture right there. The arrogance, even if it's a felony traffic stop, even if this is a justifiable felony traffic stop, it does not excuse you from being unprofessional. And those
you're saying he
comments
was
are
unprofessional?
unprofessional. Those comments are definitely unprofessional.
Okay.
The yelling, the escalating, if you're projecting your voice, that's fine. But if you're demeaning somebody because you're the authority, that's what we're talking about. That's where the culture of police
Okay.
officer gets carried away.
Right. Now, when I said earlier, people are tired.
Sure.
And that's like, there's no need for you to be so verbally, physically, whatever, abusive.
Sure.
Right? Like you said, you command and control. You project, you take control. That's one of the methods we use, right? Well,
Right.
you and I have used. But, that's one of the methods. So now what I wanted to do when I said pause it, You have one guy ready for deadly force. Now the other guy has his taser out.
Right.
And see how close they are to the vehicle. To me, that vehicle has been cleared. Because if
Right.
anybody hiding in the back of the back seat with those tinted windows, and I'm thinking that we can't, it looks darker on video than it does in person. So
Right.
maybe it has been cleared, and that's why they were the way they were. But he's covering them still while the other guy pulls out his taser, and I'm like, okay, all right. But one guy got deadly force, the other one non-lethal.
Right. Well,
Right.
the deadly force one was the young white guy, right?
Yeah.
Right, but he's also way back. So I don't know what he's going to do with that unless the guy gets out and starts fighting. So I don't think I'm not going to say that he.
No, he still got him. He could take him out right there.
No, I'm saying Gutierrez probably came out with his weapon too, because
No, he did.
Right.
He hosted it and pulled out the taser.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
obviously this guy was still focused on him and probably didn't see him holster it, or you thinking that he should have put his weapon away too.
No, I'm just saying so he de-escalated it. So the threat
Gutierrez.
is not like it once was.
Right.
And that's why I say I think they could see inside the vehicle, so that threat wasn't there for what's his name?
Which one? Gutierrez is the officer.
Gutierrez.
The Hispanic white guy.
Yeah, Gutierrez.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not the Hispanic black guy. That's
Right. That's
Navarro or something.
Navarro. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even know the other officer's name, so we'll just
Nobody
call him
cares.
the token white guy.
Yeah.
So, what I wanted to ask you though, you brought a point up about what did you call it? You said people are tired of it,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to contest that because I could understand why people could be tired of it.
Right.
What I want to ask you is, were you ever tired of people like this?
Who?
People that just didn't want to listen to your commands when you believed you had the authority and justified probable cause to do your job?
I'll tell you this. No, the answer to that first is no. It's because I had some damn good guys, believe it or not, they were white. Damn good guys where I would be like this young officer right here, and the guys, my FTOs, would just look at me and be like, hey, holster that. Because I would be in my head in a situation like this, take the race out of it. It's just, and damn sure take the uniform out of it. It's just a guy, tinted windows, and we had a traffic stop like that. And the guys would tell me, hey, holster that, man. Nah, we're not there yet. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm so critical when I see this right here. And then that's why I say people are tired of it, because it's not like at the end you find out, it's like, why did you escalate it to deadly force?
Right.
Why did you escalate it to deadly force like that? Because of an unknown, right?
Sure.
So now once you take that, once you holster it, now you're not ready for deadly force anymore. It's non-lethal. But this guy over here is still at that escalation of deadly force, and I don't get that.
Well, see, my question though is you're approaching this scenario. Okay, we already know right off the bat they started with deadly force because they treated it like a felony traffic stop.
Right.
But as you're approaching this scenario, you just said you had some good cops telling you to holster it. How did they come to that conclusion?
I have no clue.
Well, I'm going to assume they were evaluating things as they played out.
Yeah,
based
but
on
I'm
their
telling
experience.
you, yeah, in a situation just like this, matter of fact, you could take the license plate out of the window. There's no license plate. You know what I mean? And the owner did not know that the license plate was missing. That's what I'm saying. And they were just, hey, we're not there yet. Holster it. You know what I mean? So I was a rookie. So when I see that, I'm thinking, damn, these guys are seasoned guys, vets, and they're acting like I was as a rookie. You get what I'm saying? So to me, it's like that level of abusing the power or authority, and people are tired of that. It's like you're escalating it way up here, and it's like, damn, man.
I see where you're going. I was looking at the systematic approach to this stop, where you would evaluate, okay, it's clear we don't need deadly force anymore. Let's put that away. Let's go to taser because the guy's controlled. Like I was looking at, but you're talking about the initial reactions overboard, period. And I will tell you, despite all the talk about all of these cases, I would contribute that to not just arrogance and culture. I would contribute that to they can't find qualified people anymore. I think that they lowered standards to hire police officers and they're letting anybody in. And I don't mean but anybody, but I think the standards have dropped. And well, we can say the same thing about the military, right?
Yeah. I
Maybe
guess so,
just
yeah.
the general public standards have dropped. Maybe people in general no longer have a standard to handle jobs like this. So what do you
You're not
think
gonna
they're
get
going to
any
hire?
complaint from me. You
Well,
know,
that's
I
what I'm
can't-
saying. What do you think the people what do you think the cops of Minneapolis right now are going to be? What do you think their qualities are going to be? As much abuse as the police took there, whether it's warranted or not, who wants to work in Minneapolis? Then they go and fire
yeah.
them all, and then they do this $1 million grant. So you're either going to get people who want money and the pay is good, or you're going to get bad cops.
Yeah.
So what do you think's going to happen when bad cops hit the street?
It gets
know,
worse.
I don't know if we want to talk about that other case with the taser pistol shooting, the taser that shoots bullets. The what was the guy's name? The kid that got killed, the last one that got killed by that lady. The lady that was tasing the guy but actually had her gun out.
Oh shoot! I was thinking about the one where the cop shot the lady after he tased her because she shot
No,
at him.
no. Right.
Yeah.
That one right there is a prime example of who in the hell hired these people.
Well, you're talking about who in the hell hired the person 26 years ago, though.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes. You know, at the end of the day.
And then the Brown, well, she was I believe she was a training officer, FCO.
Yeah, well, we don't want to get too far into that one since we're doing this one. But my point being is, look at the quality officers. Get rid of the bad ones. Stop hiring. You know, but then again, if they don't have any, if the pool is small, you're going to get what you get. And
no,
this is
it's
only
just like
going
I
to get worse.
say on my job. That's management.
Right, but you're
That's
going to get
leadership.
worse.
Yeah. All right, you want to continue?
Yeah, you can't train a turd to do flush itself, right? All right. Anyway, well, let's move on.
You receive an order. Obey it.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you
ask
should
what's
be.
going-
Get out.
What's
Get out.
going on? What
Get
did
out
I
the
do?
car. Get out
I
now.
have not committed any crimes
You're being stopped for traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest.
For a traffic-
You're being detained. Okay. You're being detained for
for a
obstruction of justice.
traffic violation. I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told me why I'm being stopped.
Let me stop it there because I want to make sure you saw that. Okay, we all heard the, you know, you should be afraid. Him say he's afraid to get out. Well, you should have been afraid back when you saw the guns, not the taser. But so did you notice the white cop while this was going on? As
Oh,
Gutierrez,
he kept looking over at.
yes, he kept looking at him like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So you could clearly see that this is a bad cop problem.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's a policing problem. I think it's a bad cop problem. So, but I don't think the lieutenant's helping his case any. So,
Helping whose case?
his case from being,
It's-
well, it's going to help his case if he's going to sue for a bad cop. But well, I'm talking about the escalation. He's not helping de-escalate anything.
Dude, there's so many cases. What's his name? Fernando Castillo. I mean, it's so many cases out there where somebody was fully compliant and they still got shot.
Is
You
he
got
fully
cases.
compliant?
Say what?
Is he fully
No, but
compliant?
I'm just saying. You're saying he's not helping, but what is he doing wrong?
Well, I mean, if you're on the ground, when they tell you get on the ground and they shoot you, yeah, maybe the result's still the same. You might end up dead, but there's going to be big problems with that one. If you're doing this little here, this thing, waiting and waiting and waiting till somebody's trigger's just pushed, that doesn't help you. I don't think this is helping anything. What is
Listen.
he proving here?
Listen, my whole thing is this. I agree with you 100%, first and foremost. Okay? But I see it also from his perspective, the lieutenant.
Yeah, I'm not
He's
saying
like,
that.
what
yeah,
am
I'm
I
not
doing
saying couldn't
wrong
be tired,
to
but I'm
warrant
not
all
saying
of
he's
this?
not warranted to
Right.
do that. I'm saying if this was me in this scenario, I'm not pressing my luck. I'm not taking the chance that
Yeah,
this
but-
guy is a dirtbag and he wants to kill me any chance he gets. I'm not taking a chance, especially if I believe it.
Right.
He's not going to shoot me on the ground in the prone position. And if he does, this guy would have been picked out of the weeds a long time. You show me a case where that happened.
What, did somebody
Where-
was handcuffed or restrained on the ground in the prone and they got shot?
Yeah.
You never seen that movie, Fruitvale Station? It's based
Is
on
that
a
one,
true story.
one case?
You said show me a case.
All right, one case. I apologize. Show me another case. Let me be more clear. Out of all the police interactions in the entire world in existence, that one case.
Okay, then if that's the case, we need not talk about any type of police involved shooting incident or whatever. because the fraction of bad police out there, and this is coming from me, I truly believe bad police probably make up less than 1%, probably half a
Right.
percent of the law enforcement community,
Mm-hmm.
but they get the most attention.
Right.
That's why I say, and man, I wish I could say his name, but when I was going through some training, he said, whatever you do, don't embarrass the badge. What we have to do is call them out when they embarrass the badge. That way, the community will trust us more.
Right. And this
Right.
Gutierrez was fired. And we're calling him
Thank
out
you.
right now. Okay. We're
Exactly.
calling him out right now. But I'm not relinquishing any responsibility from Navarro. What's his name?
Why?
Because he's putting himself in harm's way for what? A paycheck?
No. Why you say a paycheck if he doesn't
Because he
have
files
to
a $1
do
million
it?
lawsuit.
Oh, okay, but I mean, hell,
I don't
the
have
cop-
to do it. Look, if the police pull me over because my vehicle matches the vehicle of another vehicle, I don't have to do anything either. But you bet your ass I'll be on the prone and they figure this out, and then whatever happens after that happens, but I'll be alive. I'm not pushing it because, oh, he has no right to pull me over. This is not the place to plead your case.
Well,
this
I
is the
got
place
that
to get out
because of what
safely.
can happen. But is he wrong though? Okay, there's a chance he might lose.
I'm not
his
saying
life.
he's wrong. I'm saying it's a dumb decision.
Oh,
I'm not saying
okay,
he's
we
necessarily
agree.
wrong.
We agree.
Yeah, it's a dumb
right.
decision. And that's those decisions that he's making are his responsibility. It's not the policeman's responsibility. It's his responsibility to make the decisions he's making, whether right or
Okay,
wrong.
yeah, but the police are responsible for their reaction to
And
his.
he's responsible for their reaction. They're responsible for his reaction.
No.
No?
No.
What do you mean?
Assist, protect, defend.
Yeah, they're protecting all of us. If this is a criminal or if this is a guy with a gun, they're protecting us too. They're not just
Don't do
protecting
it.
the.
In this case right here, don't do the if because it's not.
Well, they don't know that. Just like you said, a tinted window. They didn't even know for a minute if anybody was in the car.
Right, but by now, look at where he is. You got his hands right there.
Yeah, after all that we already watched.
Right, but listen, the whole thing is, it's like we get too comfortable with just trying to justify police actions to me. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, what did this person do wrong? Why didn't they just comply? They don't have to. You know?
No, they don't.
They don't have to get out.
Right. They can
Right,
just
and if you
let
know
it
that-
escalate. Right. They can let it
Right.
escalate.
No, it ain't them letting it escalate. If they don't have to get out, why are you escalating it?
So what do you do? I want to. I don't know what department you went to. I don't know any training
No,
I've ever went to
why
where
are
you
you-
just sit there and turn it into a hostage situation.
Dude, that's like saying if someone's sitting down right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go up and they don't have to give you information. They don't have to. But then they don't, and now you're just gonna pick them up and start searching them. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yo,
isn't that based on law? Like Terry Fritz, all that stuff was law at some time. So
I'm just saying, okay, then he's right. So then this guy wouldn't have got fired for what he did.
well,
but
I
my
don't.
whole
I don't agree
point
with
is,
that.
if-
I don't necessarily agree with that. He
So
could have
what?
gotten fired just for the culture of what's going on.
Then that means he was wrong
Well, I think
for
that's an
escalating it
assumption,
the way
right.
he did.
I definitely don't agree with what he did, but I don't correlate him being fired with everything he did was wrong because that's not necessarily true. They could be covering their own ass.
Oh, he was
department.
wrong.
Well, yes. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Why
In
can't
this
you just leave
scenario,
it right
yes.
there?
All right. This scenario, yes, I agree with you. I'm just saying that statement is not necessarily true. All right. Let's move. Let's show some more.
No, hold up.
Oh, you want some?
I'm telling you right now, Jim, that's my main problem when it comes to these type incidents. No one wants to just call out the police officer for being wrong. That's it. I don't care. Dude, they're not assaulting you. They could be cursing at you, talking about your mama. Don't take it personal.
Sure.
Don't. You know, but when you start escalating it based off of what? They didn't follow your order when they don't have to? And then we justify that and say, oh, he didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, no, he did. Call it out.
Well,
Because when we don't, it's just gonna escalate. And
I have to
more
tell you
folks
honestly.
do it.
I have to tell you honestly, if I were to completely follow your perspective of what this officer, I would have. I'm glad I'm not a cop anymore. There's no way in hell I would walk up to a tinted vehicle like this, not knowing who's inside, with a guy who didn't comply, and be like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Officer," or "Hi." I wouldn't do that. There's no way. Right
I'm not
now,
saying you do that.
I'd be done. I'd be like, "Call SWAT. I'm not going to this vehicle." I wouldn't do it.
I'm not saying. See, why? damn, y'all weird about this stuff, man. Dude, he's up at the car. Put your hands, when he was back away from the car, put your hands out the window. He put his hands out the window.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
and
he was being compliant.
At that point, right.
You clear the car, and I'm going to stand by this. I think they could see inside it. We just can't on the video.
I hope so.
Yes, because of the way they responded. But like right here, I'm like, dude, you got it. You got one arm.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just.
And you can see his gun hand if it's a righty or not. Yeah, you can see his hands.
Yeah.
So right now, yes, I agree. The threat's not, and that's why he's putting hands on there. And this is where it gets stupid. We watched the rest of it. This is where I think Gutierrez just shows his brilliance. If you want to watch this, you want to. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead, play.
Really?
Get your hands.
Get out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me, please. Get your hands off me.
You know what?
Get your hands off me. Get your hands off me.
Back up there.
I didn't do anything. Don't do that.
Sir, get out of the car
Don't do
now.
that.
Hey, sir, get out of the car now.
Don't do. I'm trying to talk to you.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk.
Get out. Just get out of the car.
Can you please relax? Can you please relax?
Get out of the car right now.
This is not how you treat a vet. I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're gonna treat me. I didn't do anything. Whoa, hold on. What's going? Hold on. Watch it.
Air Force is deployed. Get out of the car. Get out of the car now.
So before we watch the agonizing part of being pepper sprayed, because we all got this. I know you got it right. We've been pepper sprayed. Yeah, this is very agonizing to watch, even though it's not deadly, or well, it could be, I guess, depending on people. Certain people could have conditions that. But so yeah, this is where it illustrates the point you were making. The man was in your control, in your vision. There was no need to keep yelling at him, telling him to get out of the car. His seatbelt's on. His hands are out the window. How the hell is he even going to get out the car?
Yeah.
So this is where you can see Gutierrez's ego took over this entire scenario. And that's the thing, I think, where people are sick of that stuff. And it's not that I'm justifying it. I'm not saying that that's the case. But he's human. And you've seen this on all the calls you go to. You go to a lot of calls where people's egos get in the way of their conscious mind. And so I'm not saying I should excuse the cop because he's above that because he's had more training. So he is completely responsible for this escalation at this point for sure, 100%. So I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
You ready for a butt?
No, it just, I was like, damn, dude. What was it, 3 times?
He sprayed him? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 times. I was like, wow.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's just, I felt bad. But like you said, man, we've been sprayed so many times. I kind of felt bad, you know. And I was like, oh, God. I don't even have anything to say to that.
Right. But I mean, like I said, at this point, just like when we talked about the Floyd stuff, up to a certain point, these guys, these cops, I know maybe it's not easy. It's not easy to bring yourself down out of a heightened scenario like this. But this is all stupidity right now. Like when you're consciously telling somebody to get out the car while his hands are in your face out the window and his seatbelt's on, what do you want him to do? Reach for his seatbelt? I mean, you'll see it here further on if we want to watch it, or you want to just leave it here.
No, I think you can leave it here. But what I was going to say was, this right here is another, I'll say, some of the guys that I trained me, I give them kudos. Mm-hmm. I wish I could just throw their names out there. But if you get that close to them, they'll just sit there and talk to them. Oh, no, what happened was this. So we just need you to get you out the car, straighten this out, you know?
Right.
All of that.
He's not complying because he's got a gun in there and he's going to shoot you. You've already identified that's not the threat anymore. So Gutierrez was probably completely wrong. Probably deserves to be fired. Shouldn't be a cop. If he can't control himself on a simple call like that, I imagine what he's doing when he's going to these other calls.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. I'm not supporting the policeman here. When I sound like I'm supporting the police, I'm supporting the job. And I know what the job entails.
Yeah, I got you.
And I'm human too. I know that. You know, I know that when I approach somebody and they get into my space, that causes me to become human again.
Yeah. But my thing is, I think it all escalates when it's not handled when we first see it. So he's probably had some incidents where no one checked him on it and said, hey, man, you need to you know, and then it just escalates. So they have this like God complex, man.
Right.
And like I said, the guys who brought me up, white guys, they were just. When I see some of the videos out there, these guys are some of the best. Some of the best, man. And I'm not gonna throw names out there because next thing you know, people will be Googling them or finding out, hey, yeah, he did this 15 years ago. Whatever.
Right.
I ain't got time for that.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know
I
what
can
I
say
mean?
too, the department I worked for, they had their knuckleheads, you know,
Yeah.
for sure. But I had a lot of respect for a lot of the guys I worked for. And I didn't see stuff like this, you know. I mean, I can tell you some of the stuff I saw with some of the knuckleheads, but usually you knew who they were. You could identify them. And it wasn't, I've never seen it on the scale of like this, you know, but I don't know if you had one in your department, but I had the guy who always came into the scene and escalated it so he can put somebody in cuffs.
Yeah.
And you're just
Or
like,
just get
dude,
some
we just
stick time,
calm
as
these
we
people
call it.
down and you're re-escalating everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I was a rookie, so I wasn't able to say much. So I didn't have a lot of time on the force either. So I wasn't able to say much because of that culture we talked about.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing I think that needs to change. The culture. Once again, this is a culture problem to me, not a Spanish culture, because they're both Spanish. One just happens to be dark Spanish.
Policing.
Right. Police culture problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. You think we beat that one to death?
Yeah, I think we did. And just to end it, you think he was justified in they were justified in firing him?
Yeah. Oh, I do definitely believe the guy should be fired, because if he can't handle himself like that, even if he had a bad day, call out sick. I mean, you don't go to work like that.
Right.
So,
But then
and
you
even
won't be
if
taking care of your battle. But,
right.
Yeah. What about the other officer?
The white guy?
Yeah.
The token white dude? I don't think he needs to be fired. No.
No.
I think
anything?
No, because just the fact that he was looking at the guy like, what are you doing? Like, there's a lot of signs there that showed me that this guy was going along. Because who knows? That guy could be bullying him. You know what I mean?
But
He
you
could
can
make
tell
him buy
who's
his
the
lunch.
senior officer on the scene.
Right. Or
Yeah.
the more dominant. He may not be senior. Sometimes you get
That's
guys
true
that are
too.
just, yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah. It's
But
just the
all of
seniors
that,
get protected.
man, all of that when he was like, "Hey, back up, Dane." I'm like, "Man, he could be doing something to him right now." You know, so that's why I
Right.
say the threat wasn't there, man.
Yes, I agree.
You know,
I agree.
it's like, man, just. I ain't gonna say, "Hey, how's it going? How's your day?" But why didn't you just say, "Hey, this is what we have going on"?
Right.
Right?
And that's why, as I'm nitpicking the lieutenant's observations, like, oh, there's a gun, putting the camera up and all that, I'm trying to get in his frame of mind. It's the same thing for the policeman. Just
Right.
like you said, once they pass that point of clearing the car, what is your threat? The guy's
Right.
hands out the window? Like, is
Yeah.
his nails not painted? Or they got some toxic smell on them? Like,
Yeah.
what is your threat? So,
Yep.
yes, right there was all ego to me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think we can pull the pin on that one. I wouldn't say I'm sorry the guy got fired, but
Yeah.
a lot of things
Well-
happen to me. When I look back on it, I say I deserve that.
Right, right. And when you make mistakes, you got to pay the consequences, just
Yeah.
like everyone else.
Own it.
Everyone else. So, all right, we'll move into the our favorite segment, the pull the pin already, and yeah, I guess pull the pin or person of the week or shout out.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know you got something.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything.
No.
All right. Well,
I want to
wanna-
talk about something that's
Oh,
near and dear to my heart, man. I want to. I didn't get you with that in a while. You knew it was coming, but I think what I want to pull the pin on, and I don't know if I mentioned this specifically before, or as some people say, specifically.
I don't know. Let me ask them.
Yeah, ask them. But when you have incidents with police shooting, those people who, when the officer is dead wrong, they're quiet. Police supporters or whatever, and when you're quiet, you support them still. To me, when you're quiet, you support them, and I don't understand why. If you can call out the subject when the subjects are wrong, probably 90% of the time, 95% of the time, they're wrong, and we say, "Oh, only thing they had to do was this." Why don't you do the same thing to the officers? Because when you're quiet, not enough people hear that, yeah, we're law enforcement supporters, but we call out the bad ones. And you have to call out the bad ones if you want to get more people to join in the support for the law enforcement community out there. I'm all
Hey,
for it.
That goes
I'm all for
inside
it,
the
but when they
department
do-
too, right?
Yeah,
Inside the department
absolutely.
too. Yep.
Yeah, call them out. I'm sorry, because they are making it worse. That's why when I heard he got fired, I was like, thank you. Thank you. Bring him up on charges. A little misdemeanor. I don't know. Assault or something. Because you fired him
They got a
because
lawsuit.
he broke policy. And if he broke policy, is a chance that he broke the law. If he broke the law, file charges against him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's the only way you're going to stop it. Like all these people saying, man, I get out of here. I don't want to be an officer anymore. I say, you know what? You don't need to be.
Right.
Because that only thing that you're telling people is that, hey, I should be able to get over when I make a mistake. And like I said before, when you talk about the medical profession or law enforcement, when you make mistakes, it hurts people's lives. And most of the time, or sometimes, it takes people's lives. So no, you don't get a pass on it.
But the medical people still get over with it. They don't lose their
Yeah,
license.
but what do you have though? At least you have malpractice insurance,
which you've got to sue them, and then the insurance will pay out. So
But
they
they
don't lose
have
their
it.
job. They don't right.
but they have it. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of all these police officers doing wrong, being fired or whatever. But man, they always need to move to another state and they could get a job in law enforcement. You know?
Yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly about all that. I just have a tough time because, like I said in the beginning, you're not going to have officers if you can't tolerate mistakes. You're not going to have any police officers. So I don't know what you do with that. I mean, I don't know. It's not like they're intentionally, mistakes are mistakes. If you got a bad officer like this guy, to me, Gutierrez is just a bad officer. If he
Well,
can't-
yeah, and I think we'll agree that at least he didn't lose his life. The
Sure.
lieutenant, you know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't lose his life. He's a bad officer. Hey, we police our own. You got to go.
No, I was talking about Gutierrez, not the army officer.
That's what I'm talking.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about. The department was like, "Hey, we police our own.
Yeah.
you have to go."
yeah. Well, that's what I said. So if it's a bad officer, it's a bad officer. But like I said, if it was a mistake, they're human, and you're asking the job you're asking these people to do. I mean, you've been through the FATS training too, right? You've been through the simulator. You know how many little babies that I shot? Oops.
Oh,
Sorry.
I shot a cop.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry. And that's a training simulator.
Yeah.
Will you imagine in real life when it gets real? Like, I want to think I'd be able to control myself, but even like in the military, when we related to the military, remember Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
The guy going up the stairs who had crapped himself and just froze up? Like, that's real.
Yeah.
Training doesn't teach you real life. So there has to be some level of forgiveness, but the arrogance on the opposite side, if you're a humble officer who makes a mistake, great. But if you're one of these guys like Gutierrez, then I think your mistakes are less forgiven because you're just a bad cop who made a mistake. I don't know.
disagree.
Well, you can, but
No, here's the deal. Like some of the other ones that we'll probably talk about in future episodes, I'm like, yeah, they should have been fired. Him suspended or something like that, I get it. If they didn't fire him and they just suspended him without pay,
right.
I would understand that. But they fired him. I'm not gonna go to his defense and say, man, that's a little harsh. Nah, dude, because who knows what you did before.
Oh yeah, like I said, I completely think what we saw in this one stop is enough for me to say, I don't know what this dude's doing. Even like I say, even on a bad day, ride the lightning.
Yeah.
You should be scared.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's not a
Yeah.
bad day. That's a problem. And that's
Control
like
your emotions, man.
right. That's a bully or a gang member joining the police force. I mean,
Yeah, and just so you know, Jim, you have extended my pull the pin probably the longest ever. Go ahead.
it probably is a record. So then I'll keep mine short because I'm gonna pull the pin on this episode because I'm getting tired of these police shooting things that spark up. And the reason I'm saying that is I could easily pull it on the media, but immediately I'm scrolling through headlines, and it's all Black Army Lieutenant, Black Army Lieutenant. Turns out he's Hispanic black with a last name that sounds Hispanic, but he's got to be black, right?
Right.
Because otherwise this wouldn't have any significance. And
Yeah,
then there's a white cop who turns out to be Hispanic. So Gutierrez and Nazario get in a conflict, and the media is all over this black guy or black lieutenant getting something pepper sprayed by a white cop.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys, stop
Yeah.
with the sensationalization. Thanks for
Well-
the content.
Yeah.
Thanks for the content.
Right. But I truly believe that when you first look at it, I can understand why people thought that. Because when
Yeah,
I saw them, I didn't think any one of them was Hispanic.
You don't first look at things when you know their names.
Oh no, I didn't know the names.
Yeah, right. Well, you wrote the article, not you. If you
Oh,
wrote the
okay.
article,
Oh, yeah,
you know their names.
Yeah, I got you.
So maybe if you saw this happen, then it would be one thing. Like, holy cow, it's a
Right.
white cop and a black guy. But if you saw the article or the video,
Yeah.
the person showing the video could easily put that in there. But they're not. Because sensationalization, it's for clicks. Just like our review of this. We're going to get clicks. So you guys go out there and click, 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 bang, right? But thank you for watching. I hope you had enough endurance to get through this whole episode. It's long, but it's good. I like when we do these. If you don't, let us know in the comments. Go to our website, pullthepinalready.com. Get involved. If you're in the military, come on in. Let us know how you feel about this stuff. Until then, Godspeed.
Hey, and pull the pin.
Boom, not the trigger. Pull the
Yeah,
pin.
don't pepper spray 'em.
Thanks for joining us here. Pull the pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.